Hello everyone, welcome back to Old Dad's Modeling Mess. And in today's video, we finish off the Tristar PZ4, the kit that you guys picked on my last You Pick My Next build. Stolen, of course, from Andy. Thank you, sir. You're awesome. Now, as you've seen in the pictures before, or in the last video, off camera, I painted it, or I primed it, I painted it, and I added the highlight. So now we're basically down to just the finishing touches. But before I get going on that, just in case someone hasn't seen this yet or anything, when I first started this build, it just absolutely went horribly wrong. Anything that could go wrong did, and it was bad. Absolutely, honestly, one of the worst starts to a build I've ever had, if not the worst. Okay. As I said before, I was looking for ways to figure out how to get out of it and stuff like that. You know, the classic "my dog ate my homework" thing. You know, just anything, because it was driving me that batty. It was just that bad. But with that being said, I am absolutely positively glad I didn't, because with all of that, I was able to still get this, in my opinion, to look really good. I didn't take any of the video or any of that stuff where I was fixing stuff and filling gaps and stuff. You know, I mean, nobody really cares about that. You know, but I did. I got in there, I fixed it all as best as I could, did whatever was necessary to get the parts to fit where they were supposed to. And in the end, I think you guys will agree with me that it was well worth it. So now, getting on to the finishing touches. As you can see here, I'm starting off with one of my most favorite parts of a build. And no, I'm not just saying that because, you know, I'm a night shift fan, you know, nothing like that. I really do. I enjoy the chipping. That's why, as you guys have seen on all my models, they are chipped the hell and back. I will always believe that there's never going to be a brand new showroom floor shine tank out there. You know, even when I was in the military and we got our new tanks and they had chips and scratches and all sorts of stuff in them, just from, you know, being shipped. So yeah, I love the chipping. But now I have to give credit to Reimagined Models, because I am using his method of chipping with the leather dye dauber. Yes, I know there are a gazillion different ways to do this. I've never, ever had any luck using a sponge. I couldn't get it to work right. I couldn't get it to do how I wanted it to do and stuff like that. And for me, I just can't do it. I cannot do a sponge. Now this leather dye dauber, I seen how he did it on his videos, and I was just like, well, shit, I gotta give that a try. And a couple videos back where I did my learning how to use oil paints, I used the leather dye dauber, and I was like, holy shit, that actually works. You wouldn't think it because of the size of it, but it works really damn good. Its only downfall for me is it doesn't get in those tight or small areas like you can with a sponge or a brush. But again, I love chipping, so I have no problems with breaking out a brush and going in and filling in them little spots. And we're like 5 minutes into the video, and as you see, I'm almost done with the hull of the tank. And I don't know about you guys, but normally it takes a little bit longer than that to get that done. Now, as I had said earlier, I just go in where I can't get, like in them tight spots or whatever. I'll go in with my brush and I'll hit them with, some extra little chips here and there. And, I'll see spots where, I think there should be some chipping, and I'll add that in. So, for me, it works. It's great. So thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Now, when I do this sort of stuff, if you look off to the left there by the tracks, you'll see the little paint bottle. I used the Vallejo Blue Gray paint, and it's just that. It's not like German Blue Gray or, military this or that. It's just Vallejo Blue Gray. What I did was, after I primed it, I sprayed the base color on, and then in the little cup there, or the little jar, as you see, I just added a little bit of some gray paint, just I believe it was medium gray or regular gray, whatever it was, to it, just to lighten it down, just to get the little highlight spot, So I sprayed it, let it dry, hit the highlights, and then with the leftover, I poured it back into the cup there, because I'll use that for the chipping. And that's exactly what I did. I just poured it into the paint tray. I added some white primer to it, and done. That way there, I'm trying to follow the way that Night Shift does it, where he just lightens each up a little bit, when he does his stuff like this. So, 8 minutes in, we're damn near completely done with all the chipping and stuff like that. As you can see in the background there, the tracks, those have been hit with the track wash, and then I also hit them with some, I can't remember if I used pigments or if I used the Vallejo Rust Effects. Can't remember which one for sure, but here in a little bit you'll get to see. I'm going to add some dirt and mud effects to them, and then I'll add those to the hull too. So with that being said, I'll let you watch this. I'm going to throw on a few songs, and I will check back with you guys here in just a little bit. little while back, uh, I tried something. I took some of, I have some of that VMS Smart Mud, and it's like 2 or 3 years old. And it's pretty much dried up, and you can't use it really for diorama bases. And I mixed it with some water, and I added it to my the sides of my hull to see if it would work as a another way, for weathering effects. And surprisingly, it actually did. It soaked it up, and it worked really well. Which I guess apparently, if it dries up, you can water it down, and it'll still work. Maybe I don't know. But as you've seen there, uh, I used it on my tracks, but I did it different this time. I mixed it with paint, and the theme I'm kind of going for here is just dirt buildup, dusty dirt, and stuff like that. I don't want it to be soaking wet, mud and snow and all that stuff. I think I'll do a that other T34 I have. Maybe I'll do it in a winter camo, and add that stuff to that. But for this one here, I just wanted to dried up mud, dirt, stuff like that. Of course, I'm going to add the grease and streaking grime and stuff like that, in a dust wash. But it actually ended up working out really, really well. Actually, better than what I thought. As you've seen there with the tracks, it worked really well. And before I did the tracks with it, though, as you see here on the hull, I tested it on it first. That way, there, if I had to, I could hide the stuff behind the Vallejo weathering effects. And actually, that's what gave me the idea. The idea to try this was because with the Vallejo weathering effects, to me, it just looks like it's like some of my wife's really thick acrylic paint that she uses for her statues and stuff like that she paints, mixed in with some grass flocking and stuff like that. And so, okay, I'll give it a shot. And I actually think it worked out really well. And it gives me something to use it for, because even though I know that it kind of got reconstituted up and stuff like that, and I just don't trust it enough to use it for a base on a diorama. I really don't. But for this, I think it actually works out really good. As you can see here, there's some big lumps in there, and there's not so big lumps. I mean, it just looks like dirt buildup. I can't remember what color I used there. I can't remember if that's desert yellow or not, or if that's a tan or something. I can't remember which color it was. I'd have to go look, but well, darn it, almost. But I think it turned out pretty good. So now we come up to another one of my favorite little spots here, and this is where I get to finish off on the chipping. And this here is where, again, I use my little 18-0 brush, and I'm just going to go in and I'm going to hit the spots where I think they need it, and to get that, with the whole red there, to get that deep chip look. So to me, with the music in the background and stuff like that, it just, this stuff flies by. I really think that I have like 35 or 40 minutes or something like that when I did this, and yeah, I had to condense it all down into like a small 7 to 10 minute little segment here where I do this and stuff. So yeah, I couldn't bore you guys that much with it, but this is the part where I think the tank really starts to come to life, because now you're starting to, as you're doing this, you're starting to see the 3D effect, I guess, if you want to call it that, the realism and everything, because just for some weird reason, you've got your color, and then you've got that light spot, and then you add that little one, that little dark spot there in the middle, and it's like that whole thing just pops. You know, it's for me, that's the way it is, and again, it's one of my favorite parts of the whole build is doing this. And like I said earlier, sometimes you might catch me on here. Uh, you'll see me hit little spots here and there, and then I'll go around, and because I won't catch all of them from the original time I did it, because the spots are so small. So you'll see me go back and hit these spots, and then you'll be like, "Didn't he just do that?" Yeah, I did. But I have to take a good look at it, and as you all know, I use my phone to make these videos with. I've got a GoPro, and I've got really nice cameras that take video and stuff, and they just don't seem to work as well as my phone. So I have to squint because my eyes are not all that, and so I'm guessing sometimes. Occasionally I'll pull it up close to the phone, because I can't take my phone out and zoom in on it, because I'm filming the video here, but it works. So that's all that matters in the end. And this part here is, for me, when I'm doing the chipping, I like to hit the edges of things, because that's where all the chipping is going to be at. You're going to have some in the big flat parts in the middle and stuff like that, but the edges around the hatches, the hinges and stuff, even if you just add a little bit of some rust effects there or something like that, that just adds more to it, in my opinion. And I try to go around, and every little joint where there's a panel, a different panel, I'll chip that edge up, and I'll add a little bit of the rust effects there and stuff, because yeah, it just, to me, it makes sense. And I, again, like chipping, so I gotta have some excuse to do it. But while you guys watch me do this here, since I have a subscription to what is it? I can't remember the name of that place. Epidemic Music, I believe it is. Yeah, I use Epidemic Music and Yahoo Music for the sound and stuff. But since I'm paying $18 a month, I figure I'm going to play some music. So I'll play a few more songs. You guys enjoy, sit back, and I will catch you here in a few. anyone's caught it yet or not, but I have made a little bit of a boo-boo here, or at least for me. See, when I do my models, I always like to add the decals before I do the weathering. And I didn't. I absolutely forgot all about it. And yeah, normally the way I always thought is you prime it, paint it, you get your base coat on and all that stuff set, then you apply your decals, okay, and then you can add your chipping and your weathering and stuff like that. That way there, it works all good. But I don't do it on all my builds and stuff like that. It's sometimes depending on how things are going. It's just the build kind of takes you wherever it wants you to go. So yeah. With that said, now let's get this thing finished off here. Let's finish this puppy so we can start something new. As you see there, off camera, I have painted all the wooden stuff on the tools and stuff like that. I've put the tracks on, and yes, believe it or not, even though it doesn't look like it, I really did paint the wheels. Those road wheels are painted. They just, yeah, I'm not 20th Century Fox, so I don't have a studio to, yeah. But one of the things I was trying to do when doing this is the wooden block there on the side for the jack. I wanted that to be really old. I wanted it to look like an old dried up piece of wood that's just whatever. And so I tried doing the gray stuff and everything like that. And by the time I got done with it, I bet you I probably got 3 or 4 layers there, and I did get the grayish look, but it blended right into the side of the tank. So I had to, okay, well, okay, here we go. I'll use in the Vallejo Rust Effects paint kit, it's actually got a wood color. So I used that, and then I used some track wash, and then I followed that up with some something else. I can't remember another wash, but yeah, I finally kind of almost got to look like wood. And as you've seen there, me being a goober, I broke that little tip off, and that's for the tow cable where it goes. But got her back on. I kind of had a similar situation with the muffler there. When I first painted it, I painted it a really dark gray. I wanted it to have that steel look, but I wanted to be able to add the rust effects. But when I did that, it just didn't look right. So again, back to the Vallejo rusting effects kit. They've got a dark rust color or something like that. Basically, honestly, to me, it reminds me a lot of the German black brown or a chocolate brown, whatever, and as you can see, it's worked miracles. I started off with the dark rust first, and here I'm working with the new rust. So I'm trying to get all that going on. I do eventually here in just a little bit. I accentuate, if that's the proper way to say it. I accentuate the pigments here with some oils, and I don't know how others do it, but I just use thinner when I set my pigments. Vallejo says that you can set your pigments with water if you wanted to. Water, thinner, matte clear, stuff like that. I just put it on there, dry like it is, and then once I'm done with everything, then I'll go around and I'll take a brush and I'll dip it in the thinner, and then I'll hit it. And when I change colors, or when I not change colors, but when I change from different areas and stuff like that, or if I start to see a little bit of a build up in the color, on the brush with the thinner. I'll clean it off and then go from there. But we're getting there. Right now I am super happy because this thing has finally started to go together good, or it's together, but it's actually starting to turn out good, I should say. Love the 3D printed tracks. Those were absolute game changers. So here I'm just going to tinker around a little bit, try to highlight some of this rusting effects and get all that just a little just a little bit more. Plus, as you see there, I finally realized and added on the decal, so now I really got to do some stuff there to get that taken care of. I used a handful of decals from all sorts of stuff. I have probably 10 different sets of decal sheets, so I just picked ones that I thought that would fit on there. And then I think most of them were either First Panzer Division, Second Panzer Division, or no, First or Fourth. One of those two, I believe it was. But, I mean, can't always win them all. With that being said, though, guys, as always, thank you for watching my videos. Believe it or not, I just do this and I make these videos. It's a fun little challenge for me. I absolutely love the fact that you guys watch them. Tells me I'm doing something cool, I guess. And so, if you like this sort of stuff, don't be afraid. Drop a like and a comment down below. Even if you want to flame me, it's not going to hurt my feelings. I'm good with that. Let's go. I might come back at you, though. No, I'm joking. But anyway, yeah, drop a like and a comment down below. If you're not already, I don't know why you wouldn't be, but consider subscribing. Helps the channel grow. It gives me time to, or reasons, I should say, to go out and spend more money, buy more kits, make more content for you guys. Plus, it tells YouTube you guys like this sort of stuff. We're over halfway there to 500 by the end of the year, so let's keep that up. Hit that subscribe button. It's free, except for the notification when I post a new video. Also, down below in the description box is a link to our Discord. Join up, come in, hang out, chat, post pictures of your builds. Let's see what you got. Our guys are absolutely badass. They make me look like trash. Okay, maybe not trash, but they are damn good builders. So, just like subscribing, it's free. Don't be afraid. Join up, subscribe, and until the next video, guys, enjoy the glamour shots, and I will see you later. Bye-bye.